This is part 2 for the Health Science Bootcamp division notes. In the first part of the division notes, we talked about what division means, the symbols for division, the basic division questions which use your multiplication table, and also some properties of division like 0 divided by any number is 0, but you are not allowed to divide by 0, so you can't do a number divided by 0. So now, when you want to divide larger numbers that are not necessarily in your multiplication table, you're going to use a process which is called long division. And that's what this process is going to be called. So in this process, the first step is that we wanted to divide the first digit of the dividend by the divisor. So in the book, they go into detail on these words. So the divisor is going to be outside and the dividend is going to be inside. So this is long division notation. But if we were using the division symbol notation, we would do dividend divided by divisor. Or if it was in fraction notation, the dividend is on the top and the divisor is on the bottom. Okay, so we're going to be using this long division notation here. And what we'll do is we'll divide the first digit of the dividend by the divisor. And if the divisor is larger than the first digit of the dividend, then we'll use the first 2 digits or the first 3 digits or the first 4 digits, however large we need to take. Then we'll write that quotient. So we'll do that little division. We'll write that quotient up top, and then we'll multiply the quotient by the divisor and write the product under the dividend, subtract, and then we'll bring down the next number. So we'll keep doing this until we get to a number which is not divisible by the divisor. As typical in math, there's a lot of words to describe this, but once we start doing it, the math is a lot simpler than the wording for the process. So here we have 2,596 divided by 4. So I'm going to put this in long division. 2,596 goes under the division, and 4 goes outside. So now we want to see, what do I need to times 4 by to get 2? Well, 4 doesn't go into 2, right? 2 divided by 4 is a fraction. So we'll use both 2 and 5. So what is 25 divided by 4? So divided by 4. Well, 4 is going to go into that 6 times with 1 left over. So let's think. 6 times 4 is 24. So we're multiplying 6 times 4, and then we're subtracting. So 25 take away 24 is 1. So you see where that 6 comes in is going to go up top, and then the leftover is going to go in the subtraction. Now you have to know your multiplication tables for these little numbers. So let's bring down the 9. I'm going to bring this 9 down. So now what do I times 4 by to get close to 19? So you're going to look in your multiplication table if you haven't committed it to memory yet. And you're going to say, okay, 4 times 4 is 16, and 4 times 5 is 20. So without going over, I could do 4 times 4. So 4 times 4 is 16, and then we subtract. So 19 take away 16 is 3, and I'm going to bring down this next number, which is a 6. So now, what do I times 4 by to get 36, or to get close to 36? So again, you're thinking about that multiplication table, and you're like, hey, what about 4 times 9? That was actually equal to 36. So I'm going to put the 9 up here. I'm going to do 4 times 9, which makes 20 or 36. And then I'm going to subtract. And 36, subtract 36 is 0. And once I get to a number which is smaller than my divisor, I can stop. So the answer to the question, what is 2596 divided by 4, that's equal to 649. Okay, let's try it again. 2016 divided by 4. So I'm going to put the 4 on the outside and the 2716 on the inside. So we'll look at that first digit. What do I times 4 by to get close to 2? Oh, well, even if I times 4 by 1, it's too big, right? 4 times 1 makes 4. So 4 doesn't go into 2. So let's use both digits, 27. So what number could I times 4 by to get 27? So 4 times 6 will make 24. So 6 is going to go upstairs there, and 24 is going to be subtracted. And when I do that, 27 take away 24, I get 3. And now I have to bring down the 1. What do I multiply 4 by to get close to 31? So 4 times 7 is 28. 4 times 8 is 32. That's too big. So I know I'm going to do 4 times 7. So 7 is going to go up in the answer, and 4 times 7, which is 28, is going to be subtracted. So 31 take away 28 is 3. I'm going to bring down that last digit, which is a 6. So now, what do I times 4 by to get close to 36? Well, I could do 4 times 9. So I'll put the 9 upstairs, and I'll do 4 times 9, which is 36, and that's what I'm going to subtract. When I subtract those, I get 0, and so I stop because 4 cannot go into 0. So the answer to the question, 2,716 divided by 4 will be 679. Now, could you check your answer? Sure. So remember, you can always check, is 679 times 4 equal to 2,716? So you would go through your long multiplication process, and you would find that that is correct. Let's try another one. 3,906 divided by 6. So the 6 is going on the outside, and 3,906 is going on the inside. So I look one digit at a time. 6 can't go into 3, but it can go into 39. So what do I times 6 by to get close to 39? Well, if I times 6 by 6, that will give me 36, which is as close as I can get. And so 6 goes upstairs and 36 gets subtracted. So 39 take away 36 is 3, and I'm going to bring down the 0. What can I multiply 6 by to get close to 30? Well, 6 times 5. So 5 is going to go upstairs, and 6 times 5 is going to be subtracted. And 6 times 5 is actually 30. So when I do this subtraction, I get 0. But I still have another digit, so I have to keep going. I'm going to bring the 6 down. So now what number do I multiply by 6 to get 6, or to get close to 6? Well, 6 times 1 will get me exactly to 6. So 1 is going to go upstairs, 6 is going to go downstairs for subtraction, and when I do the subtraction, 6 minus 6, I get 0. Again, how could you check this? You could multiply 6 times 651 and see if you get 3,906. Let's try another one. 5,663 divided by 7. So the 7 is on the outside, and 5,663 is on the inside. Thinking of your multiplication table, 7 doesn't go into 5, so I have to start with 56. So what can I times 7 by to get close to 56? Well, 7 times 8 will make 56, so that's great. So 8 is going to go here. I'll do that subtraction. 56, take away 56 is 0, but it can't stop because I have more numbers. So I'm going to bring down the 6. Now, what can I times 7 by to get close to 6? Well, nothing, because even if I just times it by 1, I'm already bigger than 6. So since there was nothing I could times 7 by, I'm going to have to bring down another digit. But I also have to tell my answer, hey, you couldn't actually do this division, so I'm going to use a 0 as that placeholder. So I'm going to put a 0 here, and I'm going to say 7 times 0 makes 0. And when I subtract that, I still have 6, but now I bring down. What do I times 7 by to get close to 63? Well, I could do 7 times 9, and so the 9 is going to go upstairs. 7 times 9 is actually 63, so when I do my subtraction, I do get 0. So 5,663 divided by 7 equals 809. Now, in the last 4 problems, when we were doing the division, we got to 0 at the end and we stopped. But that just meant that the divisor goes in evenly, meaning there was no leftovers. Sometimes you're going to have leftovers, and that's called a remainder. your remainder has to be smaller than the divisor. So like in part A here, I'm dividing by 8. So my remainder, if there is one, would have to be less than 8. So let's try it. We're going to do 3,812 divided by 8. So we're going to put that in our long division notation. And we'll go one digit at a time. Now, as customary, my number doesn't go in. 8 does not go into 3. So I'm going to start with 2 digits. I'm going to say, okay, what can I times 8 by to get close to, but don't exceed 38? So if I did 8 times 4, that makes 32, and that's the closest number. So 4 is going to go upstairs. 32 is going to go downstairs for subtraction. 38, take away 32 is 6. And now I'm going to bring down the 1. What number can I times 8 by to get close to 60? Well, 8 times 7 makes 56. So 7 is going to go upstairs as part of your answer, and 56 is going to go underneath as subtraction. So 61 take away 56 is 5. And I still have one more digit all the way over there to bring down. It's a 2. So what can I times 8 by to get close to 52? Well, if I did 8 times 6, that makes 48. And then 8 times 7 is too big. That was 56. So 8 times 6. So 6 is going to go upstairs as part of your answer. And 48 is going to come downstairs for subtraction. Now 52 subtract 48 is 4. Now there's no other digits to bring down. So if your question would like a remainder, then we're just going to stop. We're going to say that 3,812 divided by 8 is 476 with a remainder of 4. So that means if we times 8 by 476, that's as close as we can come to 3,812, but the leftovers would be 4, so we would be 4 away. Let's try it again. 4,319 divided by 8. So my 8 is on the outside. 4,319 is on the inside. What can I times 8 by to get close to 43? So 8 times 5 makes 40. That's as close as I can get. So 5 is going to go upstairs as part of my answer, and 40 is going to come underneath for subtraction. 43 take away 40 is 3, and I'm going to bring the 1 down. Let's do it again. What can I times 8 by to get close to 31? Well, I could do 8 times 3 in my multiplication table. That was 24, but 8 times 4 was too big. So 3 is going to go upstairs as part of my answer, and 24 is going to come downstairs for subtraction. So 31 take away 24 is 7, and that's not our remainder because we still have another digit to bring down. So I bring down the 9, and I say, okay, what can I times 8 by to get close to 79? Well, I know 8 times 10 is 80, so that's too big. Let's try 8 times 9. 8 times 9 makes 72, so it's smaller but close. So 9's going to go upstairs as part of my answer. 72 is going to come downstairs to subtract. 79 minus 72 is 7. And I've got nothing left to bring down, so the 7 is my remainder. I'm going to write it over here too. So if I asked you, hey, what's 4,319 divided by 8? Say, oh, that's 539 with a remainder of 7. Let's try it again. 63,736 divided by 9. What can I times 9 by to get close to 63? Oh, well, 9 times 7 is actually 63. Perfect. So 7 is going to go upstairs. 63 is going to go downstairs as subtraction. Now bring the 7 down. What can I times 9 by to get close to 7? Well, 9 times 1 is too big, so I'm going to do 9 times 0. 9 times 0 equals 0, because anything times 0 is 0. So 0 goes upstairs as part of my answer, and it happens to also go downstairs as my subtraction. 7 minus 0 is still 7, and I'm going to bring my 3 down. What can I times 8 by to get close to 73? Well, I'm sorry, what could I times 9 by to get close to 73? So 9 times 8 is going to make 72, which is perfect. It's close, but it's not quite. So 8 is going to go upstairs. 72 is going to go downstairs for subtraction. 73 take away 72 is 1. Now we've got one last digit down here, 6. So what can I times 9 by to get close to 16? Well, 9 times 1 is 9. So 1's going to go upstairs and 9's going to come down for subtraction. And when I subtract, I get 7. So 7 is my remainder. You should note that every time I do the subtraction, what I get should be less than the divisor. And then once I do a subtraction and I have nothing else to bring down, whatever's there is going to be my remainder. Now let's try 1,461 divided by 13. Now in this problem, we do not have a times table for 13. So we're going to need to do a couple multiplications of 13. So what I would do, just kind of off to the side here, I'm going to do it downstairs, is I'm going to do 13 times 1 makes 13. 13 times 2 would make 26. Remember, I'm counting by 13, so if you can't do the multiplication in your head, add another 13. So 13 times 3, I'm going to take 26 and I'm going to add 13. That gives me 39. Let's do 13 times 4, make 52. 13 times 5 would make 52, 62, 65. So I'm putting these down here kind of as a note since they're not in my times table. And if I need something bigger than 65, then I will, I'll do some more. So let's set up our problem. We want 13 to go into 1,461. So, what can I times 13 by to get close to 14? Well, 13 times 1 makes 13, and that's as close as I can get. So 1 is going to go upstairs, and 13 is going to come downstairs for subtraction. 14, take away 13 is 1. I bring down the 6. What can I times 13 by to get close to 16? Well, still 1. So I'll put the 1 upstairs, and I'll do 13 times 1, and that's what I'm going to subtract. I do subtraction. 16 subtract 13 makes 3, and I still got one more guy to bring down here, 31. So what can I times 13 by to get close to 31? Well, I could multiply by 2. 13 times 2 is going to be 26. And that's as close as I could get, right, to 31. If I did 13 times 3, it would be too big. So 13 times 2, so 2 is going to go upstairs, and 13 times 2 is going to go downstairs for subtraction. 31 take away 26 is 5. Now there's nothing left to bring down. 5 is smaller than 13, so that's your remainder. So 1,461 divided by 13 is equal to 112 with a remainder of 5.